Well, the sights and the sounds around everywhere in the world tells you one thing, that Christmas is coming, is in the air, ladies and gentlemen. And what a way to celebrate this particular countdown to Christmas by watching the longest running independent sports show on Nigerian television. This is HotSports. Well, the Nigerian Super Sand Eagles show they're a very strong force to reckon with by booking a ticket to the Sand Soccer World Cup in Paraguay in December 2019. Well, this came after an impressive feat in the final of the African Beach Soccer Championship decided yesterday in Egypt. Oh well, this is HotSports, like I said earlier, and of course it's live on the biggest television network in Africa, NTA. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and as usual, I'm never alone. I'm not alone on set today. Today we got back Olaleye. Olaleye, how are you? Good morning.
And to you, Babajide Guerrero.
Can you smell Christmas, Leye?
Yes, Christmas is in the air.
It is,
course,
it is.
It's always one season a lot of Nigerians always look forward to. Of course, thank God for life.
Absolutely.
Great to be here on a wonderful Saturday morning.
Absolutely. Tunde Lawal also, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, it's nice to be here once again.
And Tunde is brimming with smile. Are you Santa?
No, not really. It was just your introduction saying you're never alone in the studio.
Yes.
And my mind actually flashed to Liverpool.
Yes.
You're not Liverpool, so you don't need to work alone. So we always got your back anytime you
Absolutely.
need us. It's nice to be on the show once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, Tunde said it's nice to be on the show and it's always got my back. I'm sure you guys definitely have got my back. This will be an amazing, phenomenal show. You want to be part of it when it returns on Sports HotSports this morning. Stick around.
Super Eagles players were in the action for their various European clubs as the 2018-2019 season is approaching the halfway mark. In the Turkish Super League, Super Eagles midfielder Ogeni Onazi scored his second league goal this season for Trabzonspor in the Turkish league as his club defeated Konyaspor 3-0. Onazi, who missed Super Eagles' last three African Nations Cup qualifiers, played all 90 minutes and scored in the 89th minute. Super Eagles forward Henry Onyekuru fired blanks at Galatasaray, shared the spoils with Ricepor in a 2-2 draw. Onyekuru played for 77 minutes before he was substituted. In Italy, Ola Aina continued his impressive form for Torino in the Italian Serie A last weekend as his club held AC Milan to a goalless draw at the San Siro. Aina, who was deployed to a right-wing forward position in a 3-5-2 formation, played all 90 minutes for the Granata as they continued their away unbeaten streak in the Serie A this season. It was a poor outing for Super Eagles defender William Troost-Ekong as visiting Atlanta defeated Udinese 3-1 in a Serie A encounter last Sunday at the Desia Arena. Ekong played full-time as Udinese failed to stop the visitors from snatching the 3 points at stake. In the English Premier League, Alex Iwobi's Arsenal continued their unbeaten streak with a 1-0 victory against Huddersfield at the Emirates Stadium. Iwobi came in as a substitute in the 46th minute and played a vital role in securing Gunners' victory. Super Eagles duo Wilfred Ndidi and Kelechi Iheanacho suffered a 2-0 loss against visiting Tottenham at the King Power Stadium. Ndidi kept his place in the starting berth and played full-time, while Iheanacho failed to take his chances in the absence of Jamie Vardy as he was deployed to strike for the Foxes. Iheanacho made way for Rachid Gazelle after playing just 10 minutes in the second half. Leon Balogun was handed a starting berth after coming from the bench to score his first goal for Brightons in their midweek 3-1 victory over Crystal Palace. The former Mainz defender played for the entire duration of the game as Seagulls were defeated 1-0 by Burnley. In the Spanish La Liga, it was a disappointing result for Samuel Chukwueze as Villarreal fell to Celta Vigo 3-2. Chukwueze failed to find the net before he was replaced by Carlos Bacca in the 55th minute after the Yellow Submarines were already 3 goals down. Bacca scored twice to reduce deficit, but Villarreal failed to share the spoils. Elsewhere in Spain, Kenneth Omero kept his starting jersey as Leganés played a 1-1 draw against Getafe.
The Ivorian Football Federation (FIF) appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport against the decision to strip the country of the 2021 African Cup of Nations on Thursday. The Confederation of African Football took the 2019 tournament from Cameroon due to delays in preparation and offered it the 2021 finals, which had already been awarded to the Ivory Coast. The FIF was surprised to learn that the president of CAF, Hamad, decided on his own authority, without any prior consultation, to reassign the 2021 edition, which was entrusted to the Ivory Coast, to Cameroon, the FIF said in a statement. The preparation and work required to organize this great competition, which is particularly important for all Ivorian football and the Ivory Coast, constitutes important economic, financial, and human investments. Hamad has indicated that the Ivory Coast has now been offered the hosting right for 2023.
You're welcome to HotSports segment of the program where we look at the exciting news and making rounds in the world of sports. So let's start from the home front. In football, the WAFU under 20 Cup, well, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria defeated the Black Satellite of Ghana 4-2 in their final group game that happened on Wednesday, December the 12th, to advance to the semi-final of the ongoing WAFU under 20 Cup on Friday, with the final happening today at Saturday. Nigeria has already qualified for the CAF Under 20 Cup of Nations happening in Niger in 2019 from 2nd to 17th of February. And of course, the draws for the Under 20 CAF Cup of Nations in Niger is already out. And the boys did quite well by edging out Ghana to get ready for this one. But let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. The round of 16 is upon us, gentlemen. And during the course of the week, we saw games. Some of them were dead rubber. Some of them were significant games. But you have to say, Tunde, that Manchester United kind of shot themselves in the head by not defeating Valencia. I didn't say foot, straight up in the head.
For me, it wasn't an unexpected result. Looking at the way United have been playing this season, they've been up and down, struggling in so many matches. And for Jose Mourinho, like you mentioned, some of the players that haven't played for quite a while will get game time in the game against Valencia. Paul Pogba, Bailly, Phil Jones coming back from injury, scored an own goal.
He just had to make an announcement.
And funny enough, it was the last person to score an own goal for Manchester United in the Champions League, I think in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So you could say that he's one who actually does this quite often. But I think for Manchester United, they just have to pick themselves back up. I didn't see them getting top position in the group that had Juventus. But even though surprisingly, Juventus lost to Young Boys on Wednesday. So if United had won, they would have probably topped that group actually. So I guess they will be hoping to probably get a team like Porto or some lesser sides, if I can say that, in the second round, in the round of 16. But for them, their attentions will shift back actually to the league and see how they can actually get back into the top four.
Before we go into the analysis of the round of 16, we saw during that particular match day 6, both Tuesday and Wednesday, it was dramatic and drastic for the Italian teams. Napoli and Inter Milan were supposed to go through by their plans and designs, but unfortunately it didn't come through.
Well, quite sad really, especially for Inter Milan, who are the starting Mauro Icardi, who has been doing so well this season. They couldn't just actually hold their own, and I think for me it was really very bad on their part. And of course for Napoli, a team who at the time the coach Carlo Ancelotti said that he made a remark as a guy that if his team wouldn't have gone as far as the Champions League, but I think they couldn't just actually hold their own because Liverpool as well as Paris Saint-Germain actually made do in their group. So quite sad for those Italian teams. You had expected that for the past 3 seasons where a certain Italian team, talking about Juventus, have been doing so very well in the Champions League, we have felt that there could be also more exodus of other Italian teams following suit, but it's not going to be. They're going to be participating in the second tier of European football, which is the UEFA Europa League now.
2017, 2016, 2015 champions, Real Madrid. It's not the best of times for them, guys.
At all. It was their heaviest defeat at home in a Champions League match, and it was so surprising, even though they fielded second-string players, but the likes of Isco started the game, the likes of Marcelo captained the team in that game, and you expected them to at least keep their heads up and make sure that they don't lose at home. Santiago Solari has come out to actually take the fall that he should have probably fielded a stronger side, that in all areas of the pitch that they weren't strong. And you remember they lost to CSKA Moscow also in the first leg in Russia. So it was a bad loss for them actually, because they've also not been doing too well in the league, and losing at home to a side like CSKA Moscow 3-0 doesn't speak well for a team like Real Madrid. I'm sure Florentino Perez will be looking at this and saying
maybe he wants to fire the coach again.
I guess so, because because I wasn't too sure. Even it was just dire times that they had to hire Santiago Solari. So I'm sure he'll be looking at this and saying maybe he needs to buy players in January. He needs to bring a high-profile coach for me, because Real Madrid needs to get back to the position that they were.
Absolutely. All right, so a lot of people actually feel that Real Madrid's travels is as a result of the sale of Cristiano Ronaldo to Juve, who is currently quite doing well. But hey, there are so many angles to that story. Yeah. But on Monday, a few days from now, is the day for the draw, for the round of 16 draw. So, guys, what do we expect? Because we've done our permutations here in the studio, and apparently it looks as if, no disrespect, but the team that's got a likely easy round of 16 run could be Manchester City, who could likely face either Atletico Madrid, Schalke 04, Ajax, or Roma. Those 4 teams may not particularly be the best of teams in Europe at the moment, but it looks as if they've got it all streams. But when you look at the likes of Porto, the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of even Juventus, what could be your dream round of 16 fixture? Let me start with you, Leia.
For me, I think one of the most fixtures you might get to see will be the game between Lyon playing against Barcelona. I fancy this because Lyon actually did very well over against Manchester City. We actually saw that coming. So I think for me it will be a very, very great game. And I think this state of the Champions League, where you have to separate the boys from the men, and of course the antics of the goal, different, and probably with the introduction of the VAR yet again to bring another dynamism into the round of 16 will actually pan out.
Tune, your should I say look forward to fixture?
I think for me, probably a repeat of the semi-finals in 2008 or the finals in 2009, and Manchester United playing Barcelona. If you remember, because United finished second in the group and Barcelona actually topped the group.
To think you're a Man United fan, you're wishing evil for your team.
Well, it's not wishing evil, because actually, if you want to be the best, you have to play the best. You understand? So I don't think United should shy away from any team right now. They just have to get their hearts together. Any team they play in the second round, for me, will even be a tough opposition, be it Dortmund, be it Porto, because United have not been playing well this season, so whichever team they face will be difficult for them. So why not play Barcelona, probably,
and get it out of the way?
Get it out of the way. And Mourinho will always tell you he knows how to win this sort of games, you understand? As in, he packs the bus, gets one chance and take it. Who knows? Then Manchester City could also play Atletico Madrid. That would be a very, very mouth-watering fixture for Man City.
All right, do well to follow all the draws and, of course, the activities that will be happening on Monday on www.hotsporttv.com. As well, join the conversation now, will you, at HotSports NG across board. Well, the 19th edition of the National Sports Festival rounds off tomorrow, and Delta are still on top of the table. And, during the course of this particular show, recently we mentioned that the governor of Delta said he's going to give 1 million for every gold medal, and I think it's over 40 gold medals now, so that's like some 40 million terabyte. I think I'm in the wrong profession.
Well, I think it's a good one for Delta State. It's no gainsay that Delta State has got a very good grassroots, sports, development, and of course it's paying up at the national level. They've been doing so well for themselves, and I think the 19 Sports, National Sports Festival has actually breathed a lot of surprises as well. But for Delta right now, they are holding sway as the guys in the medal table, and hopefully this will also transcend in terms of getting athletes, sportsmen and women that eventually represent Nigeria. Let's not forget the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is around the corner, about 2 years from now. So whatever players or athletes actually gotten from, they should be harnessed ahead of their major competition.
All right, one thing that we want to harness right now is harnessing a break. The guys need a water break, and we'll be right back for the main issue on HotSport this morning.
Cristiano Ronaldo has urged long-time rival Lionel Messi to be more like him and push his limits by challenging himself in another league than Spain. The two strikers have been rivals for the past decade, winning 5 Ballon d'Or trophies each before domination was broken by World Cup runner-up Luka Modric last week. Asked if he missed the 31-year-old who has spent his entire senior career at Barcelona, Ronaldo replied, "I've played in England, Spain, Italy, Portugal, my national team, while he is still in Spain." Ronaldo joined Juventus for €100 million last summer as the Turin Giants bid to lift the Champions League trophy after 2 runners-up finishes in the past 4 seasons. To mark his 150 days in Italy, he gave interviews on Monday to 3 leading sports dailies, La Gazzetta dello Sport, Corriere dello Sport and Tutto Sport. Ronaldo has scored 11 goals this season, bringing his career total to 584.
And we are back. Okay, sometimes some celebrities say they want to issue challenge. We've seen the ice bucket challenge. We've seen the mannequin challenge where people just go like this and then they just stay. And then now we're welcoming the Cristiano challenge. Okay, so let's break it down in a bit. All right, during the week, Cristiano Ronaldo had an interview in Italy where he was urging his longtime rival, Lionel Messi, to be more like him and push his limits. And you know what? Do yourself another favor of leaving the league where you are so comfortable. Well, in Ronaldo's words, he said, "I'd like him to come to Italy one day. I hope he accepts a challenge like me. But if he's happy there, then I respect that." Ronaldo told the Italian press on Monday. Well, this brings us to our main issue for arguments this morning. Well, should Messi accept Cristiano Ronaldo's challenge to try something new and come to Italy? The guys are very much in the studios, and when we return from the break, it's time for the thesis of Tunde and Olaleye Idowu.
I think for me, Cristiano Ronaldo is quite being sarcastic in the sense that Messi is a club legend at Barcelona, and of course, the onus right now is for Messi. If he feels he needs to go anyway, nobody should actually advise him. He needs to make sure he follows his discretion. He's made it all over in terms of laurels of trophies, individual and of course collectively. So I think for Ronaldo, he's just trying to make him at par with himself because he has moved to Real Juventus or played at Real Madrid.
For me, it's quite simple. The question I am asking myself is, there are times in your life where you start to think what could have been. If you listen to Arsene Wenger, where after he left Arsenal, he was saying that maybe he stayed too long at Arsenal, maybe he could have joined Real Madrid at a time, and probably also some bigger teams in Europe. So for me, it's just a question of what could have been for Messi.
And we're back, and the gentlemen are still here. They've given their thesis. It's time for the argument proper. Let me start with you, Tunde Lawal.
Well, it's simple for me because as a footballer, you ask yourself, what do I want out of life? Because if you remember, before Ronaldo joined Manchester United, it was so particular about, I want to be the best in the world. That's his own. And for Messi also, I'm sure he has his own ideology. This is what I'm setting out to achieve. So for Cristiano Ronaldo calling out Messi to come to Italy, it doesn't have to be Italy. I think it's more like for him living his comfort zone. That's the question. Because he's done it all at Barcelona. He needs to try somewhere else. Because there is still this question mark of, will he thrive somewhere else? You understand?
The world that actually been a one-club player, likes of Steven Gerrard, talking about Francesco Totti for AS Roma, and of course Manchester United, in which you support Ryan Giggs. These are players that were so loyal to their clubs. Let's not forget.
It's not about
Messi
loyalty for me, because even clubs are not loyal.
With growing, he had an homogeneous issue with growing. I knew what happened over the years. He grew into a world-class player. For me, I think for Ronaldo, just means trying to make up this controversy as a guy who is better off between both of them.
It's not about controversy.
For the past 10 years, these two players, Ronaldo and Messi, they've been at par in terms of the Ballon d'Or. But right now, I think for Messi, it's grown enough for him to make a decision, not for Ronaldo to go into the play.
It's not about club loyalty right now. It's about what could have been in my life. I could have joined other clubs and also win laurels.
I think all of this narrative is based on the fact that after about 10 years of two players actually sharing the opoly of winning the Ballon d'Or, now it has been broken by a certain Luka Modric, and Ronaldo is trying to throw a bit of banter that to Lionel Messi. Why has he not said that for the past 10 years when both of them have been going at par, winning the Ballon d'Or?
They were in the same league.
Excuse me, no.
That he has left there. Maybe it's time for him also to find a new challenge.
And he's trying to put a dent on Messi's career. That's what he's trying to do. No, yeah, it is. Because if I go into the media, and
even went on to say that if Messi feels comfortable,
you should have made that. You would have mentioned it in the first place. You should have mentioned it in the first place. It is wrong.
I always like accepting challenge.
That is it.
And I feel as
Messi
a player,
is challenged there because it's not easy for you to be there with different set of players for different seasons.
For me, because
gentlemen, let's use this yardstick so that we can actually have a wholesome conversation. So let's assume one player many championships, different clubs. Another player, one club, one championship, one club man, which is good.
Legend,
But,
you meant to say.
yeah, well, Ronaldo is also a legend. But the question there is, how many one-man club footballers have really been very, very successful and will be remembered for long, apart from Lionel Messi?
Babaji, I want to ask you, what is your yardstick for definition of success?
No, I think.
I mean,
No, because we need to get that.
I think
We
you
need to
spelled
get
it out.
that. No, we need to get.
What I'm saying.
We need to get the definition of
hold on.
success in
I
this
think what he's
aspect.
saying- what
Is it
he's
in
saying
terms
is,
of
do
the
you
goal
respect
records?
more
Is it in terms
someone
of goal
who
records for
went
the
to
club
four-
you played
See,
for?
hold on.
Excuse me, is it in terms of the amounts of laurels you won individually or the amount of goals you scored in a calendar year that even when Cristiano Ronaldo was in the same Spanish La Liga, they score across board different teams in both the Champions and as well as in the league? These are facts. Playing the same team. The fact is, if a player played for a particular team for a very long time with different set of players at every season, come on, and yet the question is that yet it stands out. What do I want to go? You know, it's just like me being in Nigeria. Nigeria is good enough. So naturally, come to Australia. When Nigeria is good for you, why would you go?
Can I throw in something?
Yes,
Why
please,
would
you
you
can.
go?
Yes, you
That's
can.
why. That's why. No,
Hold
even
on. Hold on now.
quite money that our players should stay in a particular place.
He wants
So
to make
come
a
on,
point.
see,
I'm
it's
trying to
quotable
trying to
there
make a
and
point.
it's
Hold
doing
on, I'm trying to
something
look at this from this perspective.
Ronaldo
Now,
just being
hold on,
sarcastic.
hold on. We all know Pep Guardiola is arguably the best coach in the world right now.
Arguably, yes.
Arguably. Now, we also have a certain Jose Mourinho, who has won the Champions League with Porto, who won the Champions League with Inter. Now, a certain Pep Guardiola has only won the Champions League with Barcelona. You understand? Went to Bayern Munich. He had all the players he could have wished for, but couldn't even make it to the final. Now he's at Manchester City. This is second season, understand? And he has not been to the Champions League final. Now, what I'm trying to say is, for someone, and we all go to the viewing center to watch football, and you're like, see, this person is only staying in one place now. You could only do it in one place. Why can't he do it somewhere else? You understand? See, we always ask ourselves that question. You understand? It's more like you saying, see,
whatever works for him and not work for his focus on Ronaldo, he feels
Gentlemen,
for him to be energetic, he needs to play at different clubs. Fine, but for Lionel Messi, he's at Barcelona
this
and
is
he's
the
doing
part.
great.
This is the part where we have to probably draw the curtain on this particular conversation. You know, I told you earlier, viewers, that this one would be absolutely electric. Well, the gentlemen have done justice to this topic. Of course, it's left to me to come back for the final whistle. So please stick around. The final whistle upcoming. All right, thank you for staying tuned to HotSports. Well, now to the final whistle. Our topic for today was, should Messi accept Ronaldo's challenge to try something new and come to Italy? Both analysts have provided strong points for and against this issue, and I believe both have very strong arguments. But my final whistle is, for me, I respect a player that have gone everywhere and proven his worth. Sometimes it's not about being in one place and functioning well, but sometimes as well, you want to be remembered as the man who conquered Antarctica, Africa, Europe, or maybe Asia, or wherever you go to. No disrespect to Lionel Messi, but on this particular topic, I mean, what would a challenge do? Lionel Messi could just spend 1 or 2 seasons and just prove to everyone in the world that cares to listen that, hey, I am Lionel Messi and I can play this football anywhere and everywhere, and take up the challenge of Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, this is not me saying that Messi is not a good enough player, playing for Barcelona. What I'm saying that my final whistle is, I think for the sake of football, for the sake of balance, for the sake of, you know, let everything go very, very smoothly, maybe you could just take a move to Italy, or maybe come to the Nigerian Professional Football League. You just never know. Why the gentleman laughing? I'm sure you laughed at that at home as well. All right, but remember to let us have your say on our website, www.hotsporttv.com. And of course, we also have an SMS platform that is strictly meant for you on our social media handles as well, at HotSportNG. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, HotSportNG, so that you can stay on top of every news and interesting videos on a daily basis. Guys, we thank you so very much for coming. We know you are very, very busy, especially now Christmas is coming. You want to take care of the family and, of course, your itinerary. Oh, thank you very much, Sunila. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Lele, I hope Messi gives you a call, you know, to come to Barcelona and spend the Christmas. Wouldn't be a bad idea, right?
I talk about the because it's great to be here. Messi,
Absolutely.
for me, he's done his bit, but of course, he will still continue to do his bit for Barcelona.
Definitely. Thank you so very much for joining us today. And remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Compliments of the season. Babajide Guerrero signing out.